Ako si Michael Karlo. Kuyugi ko as Cebu celebrates month-long festivities this September. Upani kong maghikay. Let's get to know two of Cebu's most celebrated chefs and taste contemporary cuisine with international influences. Ug atong dungang tilawan ang mga lamian nga street food diri sa Cebu. Dungan tang maghikay, dungan tang maglakbaylingaw alang sa usa ka dakong selebrasyon sa Cebu Lakbaylingaw Tourism Festival. Hi everyone, it's me again, Michael Karlo, and our first guest today is the epitome of work-life balance, juggling multiple businesses as well as 3 kids, not to mention a husband. And this lady flies to and from Italy and the Philippines to manage all these business lines. Please welcome Kate Anzani. Hello, Kate.
Hello, who is that person? I don't even recognize who that is. How am I in the same place at the same time? It's impossible, but this pandemic kept me here in Cebu and we got busy, but thank you so much. It's so nice to see you. It's been what? 6-7 months?
I don't know, last dinner I went to at Anzani was sometime in December. I think
you're right. And we're already September. But this is exciting to be part of something larger than us. So thank you so much for including us.
Well,
yes.
Since you're our guest, let's talk more about Kate Anzani. Since we're in the restaurant industry, let's talk about how you got into cooking. Where did you learn to cook?
Wow, that's so many years back. I think, it was my grandmother who has ignited this love affair with food. And it was with her that I learned to cook. Maybe at 2, 3, she would just let me boil something. And then by 6, I was trussing a chicken. And to truss a chicken, that's quite hard. And so you go into all these things, and in my college years, I entered culinary and I went to Le Cordon Bleu in Australia. And then that stayed with me. And then I did another spiel in gastronomy, and I did something in viticulture, and I got into wine, and then I went to Harvard. All of this is in completion of the 10 years or actually having the restaurants and building it. So there's always a continuing education to whenever we built. So I went to Harvard and I did provenance and sustainability as my core life purpose. So I got heavily involved on the back end. So I guess you can say I did the full spectrum, but ultimately it's my husband, Marco, who actually develops the recipes. I'm on the back end doing pop-up events. I'm the one doing the business development side of curating between Italy and Cebu. So between that, it cannot be done by one person. So I have to say, when I listened to your introduction of me, I'm like, who is that person? But you're right. I will not lie. There is that. I am balancing 7 different heads at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, also, you started with Le Cordon Bleu, which is basically French. That's your French base for culinary experience.
So that was a skill set training on cooking. That was really basic, advanced, and then I got into the management side of restaurant business.
And then the Italian part came by way of Marco.
Yeah, absolutely. The way the Europeans live is so different from the Asian way of life. And this is the part that nobody can explain until you live it. Obviously, I've been married to Marco for about 13 years. And every year we would go back to Italy. It started out in short trips. And then there are the longer trips, like 4 months. And you get to live, eat, breathe Italian. And then you realize the new Mediterranean way of life is so special, and use of fresh ingredients, so seasonal, that it really changes the way you live and even do groceries.
So ang imong background sa cooking, since you started with Le Cordon Bleu, is French, and Italian influence is from Marco, right?
Well, French, Italian, parehara na, the new Mediterranean way of life is so different from an Asian Cebuano way of life. Kay kita, large meals, family
Right.
style.
Uh-huh.
And then the Italians are like that, but they like to eat per course. Kita, di man ta per course kanang tibuok jud ba?
Right.
So it's really one long table of like everything at once. So it really changes the way you eat. So ang Italian na meal o ang French na meal, taas kayo, for example, ang lunch nila 12 o'clock hantod alas 4. In ana jud like siesta time.
Super long lunch.
From the first course it would go primi piatti, secondi, being second course, and then main course and el polo course. So it's never ending, but also the joys are always loud. Parang Filipino.
Right.
Filipino, pero always chika-chika. The Filipino, they eat at one time, and you can eat in like 30 minutes, no? 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then you're done. The rest is inom.
Well, yeah, you're right. So how does this experience translate to how you do things at Anzani?
Well, we from the very beginning, we wanted to be authentic to our brand. So we only have New Mediterranean. Our concept of Anzani, it's our family name, and it's the experiences of everything that is combined in the New Mediterranean setting. So Mediterranean meaning France, Greece, Italy, Spain. And what we've done is that we've incorporated olive oil, lemon, chickpeas, fresh ingredients. Like when you do pasta, it's just fresh pasta made from scratch. So pizza, but also if you look at the Anzani brand, we've elevated ingredients to another level because Marco lived in 35 countries. And in his entire career, he picked up all these influences of Morocco, Turkey. That's why it's not just pure Italian. Sure, it has the base of the typical pasta pomodoro, or it has the pasta from, the seafood di mare. But in the end, Anzani is the evolution of all the experiences of Marco and I combined. And me being Filipina and having to live with him through this journey, because we've been married 13 years, I recognize and inject local cuisine. I won't say cuisine, local ingredients into the cuisine. Because everything used to be imported from everywhere, right? Flown in. And especially now in this pandemic, we work a lot with the farmers. Farmers sa bukid, farmers co-op, the market, the fisherman, Dodong would call me and said, "Mom, naku dakong isda, Mom." And I would say like, "How many kilos?" "Tulo ka kilo." And ginoo ko, sama, nako. Ang tulo ka kilo, because now nobody can have parties, right? Nobody can have large gatherings. So we help a lot of the local community connected to our brands. If you wanna put it in the list, you just connect the dots,
Right. So this the use of local ingredients is what ties in the Filipino side of Anzani to the Anzani group. Basically, that's what you're trying to say.
Yes, and we also have pop-up events where I've collaborated with Farm to Table. I would do a series, like a vertical series of farm to table. So we'd use endemic ingredients, unique use of produce that's coming from, let's say, Katimpla, or certain regional endemic ingredients from, let me see, where did I work with? I worked with Katmon, I worked with Aluginsan, we worked with other provinces in the city, like give me the name of the province that sounds Spanish. It's escaping me right now.
All the provinces sound like they're in Spanish.
That's true. Gosh, it is called. It will arrive back. But we work with all the outside Cebu provinces to bring us produce, from ginger to spinach to, all these other food ingredients.
So you guys have been in operation for how many years? Pila na kita katuig?
Carlo, can you imagine? It's been 11 years. 11 long years that we've been in the industry. And I don't know if you followed, but a long time ago.
I'm not going to say I followed, so nobody will know how old I really am, but yes.
Right. Oh, we're growing old in this industry. And last night I was watching this documentary. They said, if you've hit the 10, you're in it for the long haul. And this year I said, shoot, Marco, we were supposed to celebrate our 11th, right? And then the pandemic happened. And you're in this situation, honestly, do we open? Do we close? What do we do? And we found in this pandemic array of light that has made us evolve, and just it opened a lot of doors, if you want to call what has happened to us in this pandemic. We created a food bank, and we fed 90,000 meals. So we have never closed. So since the day of shutdown, I think shutdown was March 28th, we stayed open. Our kitchen stayed open all this time, because from then on, we transitioned into helping the community, feeding, the districts, the people. And then somewhere along there, because we wanted to keep our team. I mean, the front of house all left. They had to go home. And then the kitchen remained open because we housed all these chefs. And at one point they were cooking for us, they were cooking for other people. And then we said, chef, we would like to keep you on board. And that's when, donations started arriving, and somebody would send us 700 kilos of chicken. And we're like, what is going on? So literally we became a production house. A food production house. We got into food manufacturing, and day in, day out, we would serve thousands of meals every day and serve it to the community. So which is great, but we have never done scale. We are always about finesse. We're always about refinement.
About plating.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to say, I had to learn that part in the last 6 months with my husband, because now I can really say I have the full board of dynamics of cooking in a kitchen, from the art to the full 10,000 meals a day.
All right, so definitely adversity bringing about this kind of prosperity. So it's super, super good. And kanina sige istorya about meals, but we're not talking about food. I'm not trying any of the food. Tell me first about what your favorite dish is right now.
Gosh, this dish is so special, and it arrived in the pandemic because it was so depressing to be locked down. And in one of our daily, research and development tryouts, we created the caramella, and it makes me happy, and I think it will make you happy, because it's a fantasy food. No, it actually sounds like a dessert, but caramella in Italian means candy. And just like when you enter Never Never Land or Fantasyland or Rainbow World of unicorns and rainbows, what makes us happy is small things like candy, chocolate. And so we created something that is reminiscent of a caramella. When you open a caramel and it has like a candy and it has the wrapper. And in the same way, we created that, but in pasta. And we got super creative. We decided to make it with flowers. We made it in stripes. We made it in diamonds and hearts. So we were just experimenting for this week of creating all this pasta, bright blue, bright yellow, purple. And you'll see it today in the episode that we're doing.
Walk me through the process of making this caramel.
Okay, so I'm going to describe the 3 colors and the flavors of the ingredients that are so wild. So you have the beetroot. And I got this manang, ma'am, daghan kay kong beetroot karon. Sige, ida. Pila ka kilo? Mga 20 kilo ipadalang. and we got the beetroot, and they sent us even ube, right? Like, so yam, purple yam.
Right.
And that became like the purple essence. But the beetroot was my favorite color because the red just was so pronounced.
Right,
and then there was a period.
Too.
Yeah, it's a super flavor, right? So you incorporate that in the dough. And I don't know if you've tried dried mushrooms that have been powdered. Yeah, so we had a lot of mushrooms somewhere in June, July. There were all these suppliers that were selling wild mushrooms, button mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms. There was, give me the name of the fungus, the black fungus.
Wood sorrels?
Wood sorrels, right? So the wood
I think
sorrels.
that's what they call tengang daga in Visayas.
Tenga, yeah, can be. So they're like a series of wild mushrooms. So it arrives like, gosh, we were just up to here in mushrooms for like five weeks. So we just
local tanan?
Local mushrooms.
Wow.
And there were some we used that were also, for the pasta. So the local mushrooms we dried into powder. So we air dried them. They went through a dehydration machine, and then we pulverized them and we incorporated them in the pasta dough. That's why you'll see in the video, there's the red, and then there's the mushroom dough, and then a basic egg dough, right? So remember, the pasta is made from flour, water, and egg. Pronto, finito. Right. It's like 3 ingredients, but it's the composition of the ingredients that create this, what they call pasta, the pasta official dough. And so we created them. We did one in rainbow colors. We did one with malunggay. We did one with spinach. We did one with turmeric. At one point we went wild.
I can imagine all the colors and the flavors getting
so
incorporated
nice.
in one little package. Nice.
So nice. And then we got excited and we took it a notch higher. We're like, oh, we'd like to recreate the carnival, the fun lollipop. So we tried to create them, and when you cut them with the pasta cutter, we would ink them and we would mark them, and they would be in lines, right? And then the other one would be in flowers and nice little dots with pink flowers and yellow flowers. And today what you'll see on screen is the one that we actually did the lines. So there are about 15 lines that go through, from beetroot to mushroom lines to egg lines. And when it goes through the dough maker, or it flattens out like a lasagna sheet, it incorporates together, and it just does this beautiful rainbow of a pasta sheet. You'll see on the screen, it's so amazing. And when you get the dough and you flip it over and you roll it, you get like the mushroom. We just, all the wild mushrooms, you just get into a mince, you saute with a little bit of cream and ricotta. We've tried some with quesong puti, and we incorporated that and we filled the pasta, right? Because you've seen a ravioli, yes? Right. So the ravioli is just like a flat base, and it like has a cover on top.
Pinches on the sides,
right? Yes.
Yeah.
But the caramella, because we were like, let's get wild, let's get crazy. Like, we were doing out of world items. We would smoke, for 100 days, our salmon. We would cold smoke. So we kind of went into our kitchen nerd lab, and at one point everyone was just getting fatter and fatter. And then we got like, oh, you have to work out. But we have a lot of people living on the property, so we'd feed everyone. So it became just one joyous occasion, because, it was too depressing. It was too depressing to not eat. So, for example, the mung bean, right? Yeah. We created like a mung bean savory infusion in one of our pastas. So we got as wild as that, using tinapa, using local
mungus pasta.
Yeah, like a mungus. But still, we would take it to another level. So, but for the sake of saying, what went into our menu was actually the caramella, because the caramella had components of the finesse and the refinement of the Italian, with fresh mushrooms. So that would be the stuffing inside, and when you roll them, And just like a candy, like when you have aluminum foil and candy, you roll them and you twist it, it reminds you of just candy. So super fun.
How about give me a taste of that candy now?
Oh my gosh, oh wait, Carlo, but I have to talk about what we created, because from that magic created us Gusto gourmet meals. And these meals were the meals from our food production, because we blast freezed, and those that wanted longevity in their homes, when we made the gourmet meals, we created them for the home. So it gets frozen, they get blast frozen, and then we create this in the groceries, and you can buy them off the groceries, these Gusto gourmet meals.
Are these available online as well?
They're available online. If you go on our site, anzani.com.ph, you can just click, order, drop menu, check out. So easy.
Super easy. So now everybody
Carlo,
can enjoy Anzani at home.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? It's cheap, it's easy, it's convenient. You get black squid ink pasta, you get gnocchi made from pumpkin, you get like spinach, ravioli, a ziti that's like to die for. Like, you and me, we got wild. So we went into 15 SKUs only. So the 15 SKUs, that's still a lot. We rolled out 5,000 boxes. One went to Manila, one went to Cebu. And you can find them in your grocery shelves, and then you can find them online. So easy. 350, one whole box, pizza family of 4.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. But Carlo, are you ready?
Fast food prices here. Pass that on to me.
Come on.
All right, I got my box now. Okay, it's a caramel al funghetto, homemade sugar beet pasta.
Alfonghetto.
Filled with wild fresh mushrooms with saucy sun-dried tomatoes. Let's unbox that. And it magically comes out already plated like this.
Exactly. Fantastic. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. So you got
candy shape.
Yes.
And let's give that a taste. I've never had local mushrooms, and these are pretty amazing. Wonderful, 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 super. And tell me more about the local ingredients that you are using in your food.
Well, the farmers up in the mountains are growing a lot of root crops like squash. They grow a lot of zucchini. So we buy zucchini in kilos in order to make a zucchini infusion, or we use it with the risotto. We also work with the farmers that have adlai, because to find the produce that we're used to is actually almost impossible to find, because due to the pandemic and lockdown, in order to get imported goods, it's halted, it's been stopped, right? So we had to recreate a menu of our huge menu of what was, and we had to diversify to reach the community. So other than the food bank, we went into food manufacturing that just creates takeout meals. And it's just been a series of experimentation in the 7 months. And, I'd like to say it's been received well. And if you haven't tried it, it's something worth trying, because if you're not brave to go out to eat in a restaurant these days, the alternative is to eat at home. And let me tell you, the people calling me in the last couple of months asking for recipes, or Kate, I'm too tired to cook, dili na ko, give up, surrender. Can you imagine cooking breakfast, lunch? Oh shoot, me too, surrender. Oh, I'm with you, I feel it. Struggle is real.
Right, super. Well, keep talking. I'm gonna keep eating. Tell me more about the ingredients. It's super good.
So the ingredients is basically just, beetroots. You have the mushroom as the base of the pasta, and then egg pasta, and it has the roll, and it's just mushrooms. So simple, tomato sauce. So it's just done.
They're super, super sweet, super good.
super unique, right? And it makes you happy when you receive something like that. You're like, look, it reminds me of like a caramel. I mean, at least food makes you happy. And this time of age, food is art. And if what you're putting in your mouth doesn't make you happy, come on, life is already not good. You can't even go out. So you might as well, either you go into your plants, everyone's become a plantita, or you go into your cooking and you eat well and you nourish yourself with nutrition and you get fresh ingredients. Know where you spend your money.
Right.
In the end of the day, are you spending money on food more than you should, more than you are? Normally?
More than I used to, more than
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because
I mean,
now
like,
you're cooking.
Food is comfort. It's comfort,
Yeah.
and we need that even more so now. All right, and for everybody nga nasuya sa akong gikaon karon, you can visit www.anzani.com.ph to put down your online order, or you can also call Anzani at the number listed at the bottom of the screen to make your order. Just 350 pesos to try this caramele al funghetto and other Anzani delights. So, Kate, tell me more about what's up and coming for the Anzani group.
Wow. I think, in all fairness, we feel lucky to be busy. And that was talking past tense. Moving forward, you know, DOT has allowed restaurants to open at 75% capacity, right? But in the same manner, you have to recognize we have to live with this pandemic. And this pandemic is going to stay. So you need to brave to take the steps to go out, but I don't think people feel comfortable to be 100% out or shared meals with somebody else that you don't know beside you. So I'm involved in a Department of Tourism project that is Road to Recovery. And what we've done is we created the Ministry of Food and Wine. And this is a five people advisory board consisting of GMs, people in restaurant industry, and we are lobbying for what they call social bubbles. Kanang social bubbles, Carlo, if you have to get your core social bubble, how many are you?
That's a problem because it's like a lot. When you say core.
Like there needs to be like a core group that you're always seeing.
5 or 6 people.
Dana, very good. So it has been determined by the DOT that people will only go out to see their friends, their innermost friends, or if not, do Zoom to eat together. So we have created as a ministry what they call RC143 Social Bubble, and it is a series of pop-up dinners especially made for the social bubble. So we have gathered chefs and chefs who have lost their jobs, okay? So it really goes and ties it down to the core of the farms, to go to the cycle of the restaurants, to go to the cycle of creating the produce. So what happens is the social bubble feeds that cycle. So the farmers will get the orders, and then we create pockets of events around the city. When I say event, it's a social bubble event. The first social bubble event we had was we found a chef that got stuck in Cebu. And we have reference and network up to 2,000 chefs who lost jobs, who are crying because they can't feed their families. And we felt the need as a core group to help reach out to them and to connect them to those who are missing their amazing meals. So we found a Japanese chef who was, could I say LSI, locally stranded individual stuck in Cebu, diving, doing all that, and could not return to his country. And we found out that he so happened to be a chef of a Michelin star restaurant in Tokyo. So what it is we tap into these people and we create small pocket dinners of the social bubble using endemic ingredients, using farm-to-table produce. So our second one is happening on the sky deck of Marco Polo Hotel, and we are collaborating with local duck, and we're using adlay. Do you know what adlay is?
Yes, that's
Adlay,
the heirloom grain.
the heirloom grain, and we found them up north, and then we're working with tablea. So we are creating a small group setting to make people feel safe and secure to go out and to eat out, to feel normal and not fear that they will get COVID. So this is all small little pockets every month, twice a month, until we get to the large food and wine festival that is gunning up for 2021 for the 500-year culminating anniversary, quintessential celebration of Cebu, because we have to live. Kanlanlan mabuhi ta. We can't stay coped up in our homes and just, we're afraid and life stops. I don't know if you feel that. Have you gone out?
I have. I've started working again, doing on-shoot locations, and it's the paranoia is there. You know, you've got full gear, you've got the N95, got the face shield, and kuyaw gihapon. So
kuyaw gihapon.
I think one thing that we can alleviate, the fear of going out. Now that
I think you have to manage your risk moving forward, and to be very socially aware that you can't be with 100 people in the room. No, it's not possible. You have to be in an outdoor space. If you're going to eat with somebody, it needs to be somebody that you know where they come from. You need to be in a space. That's why social bubbles exists. Because your social bubble will not interact with somebody else's social bubble.
Like I said, it all really goes back to being mindful of yourself and mindful of others, and all of us being in this together, just 6 feet away and with a wall of plastic.
It's very important kanang ang atong isud sa atong lawas na isustensya, like we can create nutrition, right? So everything that you eat, it gets ingested in our body and it comes out to make you powerful, or it just comes out as, bad choice of food. So for me, I always choose the good fat. So if you have to do that, you insulate yourself and you shield yourself from any bacteria or viruses around. It's very important, and nobody recognizes the power of food in your life. So for me, always choose to eat well. But back to you, Carlo.
And always choose to eat anzani. If possible.
Let me feed you more.
All right. Send me more of those boxes, please. All right. So tell me more about the Italian Cebuano connection and what you're doing with these connections.
With these connections, Carlo, what it is that because of my frequent back and forth from Cebu and Italy, we've created almost like a partnership guidance in the commerce industry. So the Italian Chamber of Commerce, and last night I was talking to the ambassador, we are creating a support team because food is such a major thing in their culture, and the Filipinos eat 7 times a day, and we need to bridge a gap together to create this food festival. So other than chefs coming to us, they would like to sponsor on a mission chefs or aspiring chefs that would like to go to Rome to have to learn. And so it's like an aspirational contest in order for them to fund the schooling of these chefs in these programs to get them and to sponsor them until they finish and graduate and enter them into good universities and schools. So together with the Italian Chamber of Commerce and the Italian Association, we are helping those that don't have government support or cannot feed themselves, to take it to the next chapter of their lives. In food, of course, in food.
Right, so ako interesado ko, can I also join?
I have seen your skills. I have seen your skills. So I think you may have a chance, but how are your knife skills, your chopping skills?
Well, I haven't chopped off any of my fingers yet. So yeah, pwede siguro.
No, you can join. In the next few months, we will work with the Cebu Commission, Tourist Commission, and also for DOT and the Cebu Food and Wine Festival. So it's all going to come together because the grand prize is to get a fully paid sponsorship to go to Italy to learn how to cook. And then other series, there are 5 major, prizes up for grabs for those who have a dream of making it, and never had the opportunity to go to school. So we'd like to let the audience know that this is something that's up and upcoming for the Cebu and Wine Food Festival also under the DOT program.
All right, so sa tanan nga gusto mo makaton and more than anything also learn from the Italian masters in Rome, just check out the page for the Food and Wine Festival, the upcoming Food and Wine Festival. And Kate, you want to wrap this up with a little something?
Wow. I just want to say, to show kindness and gratefulness, especially today, is important. And when one is hungry, it's important to feed the other, because if you feed everyone remains satisfied and full. So there's no aggression. So together with the Ministry of Food and Wine and the Department of Tourism, we are mounting in 2021, and together with Cebu Tourism Commission, Cebu Food and Wine Festival, which features multiple chefs arriving, showcasing local produce, showcasing local talent. And in the end of this local talent, one of them or 2 of them will get picked to have a fully paid scholarship in Rome by none other than the Italian ministry to fund them from beginning to end to complete a culinary course, and then maybe one day open your own restaurant, because in the end of the day, food, restaurants, they're all inspiring their passion, but you have to learn the skill and take all the steps in order to arrive and achieve. And like what we're doing now, we feel like we're giving back. That's really what we've done in the last 7 months.
Beautiful. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Kate Dichanco and Zani joining us for Hikay. Ciao, Bella.
Carlo, thank you so much for having me, and I would love to see you in person when the right time arrives.
Definitely. As with everybody else out there.
Cheers. Ciao.